Dr. David Edwards is here now to help us try and understand this a little more. He's an associate professor of anesthesiology and is the neurological surgery chief at Vanderbilt. Doctor, thank you so much for your time today.
Nice to be with you.
So like we just saw there, those manufacturing these street drugs have been cutting them with this animal tranquilizer Xylazine. Now, because it's used for animals, what does it do to the human body? What happens when you mix Xylazine and fentanyl?
So Xylazine alone would be sedating. When you mix it with fentanyl, which is also sedating, very potently sedating, you have what's called a synergistic effect. Very, very potent, very, very rapid onset. But Xylazine is longer acting, and so you're sedated for longer. Often patients people who will take fentanyl get a high that doesn't last very long. So mixing it with Xylazine, maybe that high lasts a lot longer. Unfortunately, the combination of the two is exceptionally deadly.
How easy is it to access this? And considering how bad the opioid epidemic is in this country right now, is there another animal tranquilizer that veterinarians can be using?
Well, it's very common. It's been around for at least a couple of decades now, and it's very widespread use in the veterinary world. It's not been used for humans. There are better drugs for humans. But to take away a tool from one industry by making it illegal is very harmful to that industry. Unfortunately, you're right. It's having a huge impact. It's just one of another of maybe 50 to 100 new synthetic type of drugs that are being cut with fentanyl and making this opioid epidemic even worse.
So we understand that Narcan doesn't work with Xylazine. So if a person is overdosing on opioids, is there anything else that can be done?
So definitely Narcan. We don't know, our tests, like was mentioned, our tests aren't showing or testing for Xylazine yet. So the answer right now is always give Narcan. We have to reverse that fentanyl. And then we do what's called supportive care. If a person's heart rate is low or a person's blood pressure is low or their respiratory rate is low, then we support those systems. We can, pace a person so their heart rate is increased or give them certain medications that increase their heart rate. And emergency medical people will know how to manage supportive care. For the general population, Narcan, you should run and grab your Narcan and treat the patient until emergency medicine arrives.
So let me know if I understand this correctly, because I think that you had said that there aren't tests right now for Xylazine, meaning we don't know if it's in a person's system. Are there symptoms then to look out for if a person is overdosing in order to tell whether or not this is something that they do have in their system?
It's going to look very similar to a standard overdose from an opioid. The patient's not going to be responsive. Their respiratory rate's going to be very slow. So externally, you're not going to be able to tell at this point. So you're going to have to assume that it's the potent fentanyl and treat that with Narcan. The duration of fentanyl is short, so a medical professional is going to know if this has something else in combination with the fentanyl, because the fentanyl would have worn off. But the answer now is treat with Narcan and repeat treat with Narcan until the patient is being treated by emergency professionals.
Doctor, what are your thoughts? What is your opinion? I mean, what are lawmakers, both local and federal, not understanding or maybe getting right when it comes to the opioid crisis? Is there a way to solve it? What more can be done?
Well, right now what we're seeing is a change from a prescription opioid epidemic to a synthetic trafficking opioid epidemic. Really, a lot of the strategies now are through law enforcement and reduction in trafficking of these synthetic, easily made opioids that don't rely on the poppy plant anymore. Anyone can get the precursors and create fentanyl or create Xylazine. So really a lot of the control is through controlling the trafficking of these precursors. On the medical side of things, working upstream to educate patients to make sure that our component, which is the prescription opioids, are controlled and returned when those prescriptions are not needed anymore. But like I said, this is really migrating into the trafficking world. A lot of law enforcement, I think.
Dr. David Edwards is the neurological surgery chief at Vanderbilt Medical Center. Doctor, thank you so much for your time today. We appreciate it.
Pleasure to be with you. Thank you.
Straight ahead on Scripps News Live, American soldiers preparing to train Ukraine's troops to use powerful new battle tanks. Also, Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin working